Hey guys, J-Man here in the Phantom Zone, and today we are continuing our space opera versus tournament. And we're not even, it's the actual tournament hasn't even really started. We're still doing the qualifying matches of this thing. This is going to be the longest tournament in the history of the known universe. And once this tournament's done, we're going to probably do a fantasy barbarian one, which we'll just put Yor in that one, and Yor will just win that one as well. So I'll have Yor win both tournaments just to piss everybody off. Here's where we're at so far. The brilliant masterpiece Yor won in an upset victory, I guess. Space Hunter is in there, Forbidden World is in there, Space Raiders, and Battle Beyond the Stars. Today, we're going to decide between Outland and Saturn 3, which, yet again, I didn't think this was going to be easy, but I do have a winner. But I did not think this was going to be easy. So this ended up being slightly easier than I thought, but mostly because of one category. And I guess the enjoyment category, because that affects everything else, right? So I'm not going to do this alone. We've got our panel, so let's bring them in one at a time. Where is my cool little icons? Here they are. Hey, Charlie.
What's happening?
All right, so you guys are doing your YouTube videos and stuff too. I should put a link to your YouTube channel in the other.
Yeah, I need to get you that. Yeah, you guys show me how to do all that crap too later.
I'm gonna help you a good Facebook, because my Facebook group is I have the Yours group, and it's just group/Yours World, and then you guys can get yours to be horror movie or action. Like you can change the extension.
That's what I need. That's what I need to figure out how to do.
Yeah,
so
it's very easy, and once you do it, you're gonna be like, it's because it'll just be facebook.com/groups/whatever you call it, as long as it's not taken. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna be good. Yours World was not taken, oddly enough.
That's weird. That's weird.
That is weird. So everybody join the Facebook group for Yor. We're doing adventures. I just want to point out real quick that in my latest poll, because it's a choose your own adventure, it's a choose your adventure, and nobody wants to save the kid. There's a kid that's going to be attacked, and everyone voted to leave the kid to die.
We're trying to shake it up a little bit over there. That's what we're trying to do.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, so let's bring our third and final panelist.
So, hey, Sean. I told you about Yor 100 years ago, and you didn't care as much as you do now, man. It's like now you got like groups, and you got like the poster and everything. It's like, where I bought the bootleg at Fango.
Oh, yes.
I was there with you and Steve.
Yes.
At New Jersey there.
That was like 20 years ago.
And I was like, this is awesome. And I don't know, we didn't see it at your place. No, I brought the whole bag over of all the crap I got, but there's so much. It's like Santo movies and like,
Yeah.
Crazy.
That Fangoria convention, was it 20 years ago? Maybe 17 years ago or something?
2003 or so. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So, almost 20 years ago.
Jesus Christ. 30 minutes ago.
That's from
the Assault on Precinct 13. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was because I always thought like American conventions are way better than Canadian ones. Yeah. So when we went there, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome! Like I bought so much crap there, man. I bought like I can't remember how many hundreds of dollars, and then I shoved it into a bag and put clothes on top of it, and I'm like, okay, I'm
crossing that border there, Sean.
Yeah. We're crossing my bus, so yeah.
No, well, I didn't see Yor till it came out on Blu-ray.
On Blu-ray, yeah.
And I think that's a lie. No, that's a lie. I burned it off of you.
Oh yeah, because I think you took some of my stuff and then tried to burn it all.
I'm sorry. That's just a lie. I'm like, I remember me burning it and then writing Yor on the thing. Sorry, I did. But the problem is that those were not very good quality.
They weren't good. It was from a muddy VHS. Yeah.
And I thought it was cute. Like I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun movie. And I never disliked it. I thought it was a fun movie. That's why. And then I was like, well, I have to get an upgrade, so I bought the Blu-ray.
It's like when we saw Conquest off of VHS. Yeah. I think it was your VHS, and it's like the muddiest thing you can possibly. You can't even see what's going on. And then when it came out DVD, we like snapped it up.
No, so the DVDs. Have you seen Conquest? Charlie Lucio.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Sean and I, we split up to conquer more. Split up in what is it? Whatever. We split up at the conventions.
Yeah.
So Sean called me.
Cover more ground, man.
Yeah, he covered more ground. He called me.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, divide and conquer. That's what I was trying to say. Jesus. So Sean's like, he called me and he's like, they have Conquest at this. I don't know if it was something weird video or one of these things, right?
Yeah, I can't
remember.
remember.
And he's like, they have Conquest. And I was like, okay. I said, okay, hold on. Just hold on to 2. I'm coming there. And you're like, there's a lot of copies. I'll just get mine. I was like, if I get there and it's fucking sold out, I'm going to go ballistic. I said, you can wait for 5 minutes with an extra copy in your hand while I get down
I was mega scared. I was like, you know what?
You better hold 2. I was like, if I will literally go ballistic because you had it in your hand. There's another friend of ours who has stuff in his hand who's wanted it, and then he's like, I don't know, and then he puts it away, and then I'm like, we circle back and it's gone. I'm like,
it's gone.
Dude,
yeah.
I don't get it. I get you. Maybe you'll find it cheaper somewhere.
We're going to talk about Nemesis 4. I picked it up in my hand. You grabbed it from my hand and went straight to the cashier. And I was like, what the hell? I had it. It's the only copy they had. You're like, oh, that's nice.
No, okay. Honestly, though, dude, I'm sorry. I had to. I didn't mean to do that. I literally.
It's not even a great movie, but like I need to watch it. It's Nemesis.
Like, he's not joking. He's holding us. Nemesis 4.
Look, Jay, Nemesis 4. Well, that's nice. Like,
well, firstly, maybe I think this is like Smeagol and that other guy. You should have if that other Hobbit had given Smeagol the ring, then that guy would have been fine.
He'd been fine. He's still been alive. It's all good.
No, but dude, it's Nemesis 4, man. I couldn't take a chance.
I don't blame you, man.
I can't.
I don't blame you.
And then we watched it. It was the worst movie ever. Come on.
It really is, but it's Nemesis 4. It's fine. I love the Nemesis movies. It's fine.
And then I've got Nemesis 5, which I ordered immediately.
It's all in the strength of Nemesis. It's so good that like you'll watch every crappy, shitty sequel that will come out. Yeah.
2 gave us some hope. Yeah.
It's like SNL. Like maybe the next one will be good. It's like no.
No.
Times 40 years.
No.
Yeah.
Nemesis 27. Maybe. No.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a Nemesis thing too. We're gonna do. I mean, there's no point in ranking the Nemesis movies because it'll just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It would just literally go down the line. It's a sliding scale. It's all.
I'm wondering if like part 4 is slightly better or something. Like I gotta rewatch them. But okay, let's start off by talking about Saturn 3 and Outland. Just our experiences with both those movies. So you can see that like, okay, Outland, this is one of those really crappy clamshell.
The flip black. Yep.
Right?
That's what my copy of Eraser came in for Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's the same one. Yep.
It's Warner Brothers, no?
It is.
Yeah, they did the cardboard weird thing.
So, one of the first DVDs I ever purchased was Mad Max, but it was the dubbed Mel Gibson's voice Mad Max.
Yeah.
$46.99 on DVD.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I was like,
holy
wow, I can't believe it.
Back when it was like premium technology, it's like, oh my
I
god!
Was last. I was last on everything. Sean knows. I was last on Nintendo, Genesis. Like I'm always last, right? Because it was single mom, whatever, right?
Well, mine was Nintendo. Then I bought my own PlayStation. I missed everything in between. Nothing in between.
Oh wow!
I had Genesis then GameCube. No. I didn't have Nintendo 60. No, I did have Nintendo 64. I'm sorry. I did have
Yeah, and my Nintendo was the base. No light gun, no duck hunt, no Mario.
Wow. Yeah,
it was 2 controllers. And then my first 2 games were Burger King or Burger Time and Pinball. Those were my first 2 games. Oh, I love those games, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
I love those awesome theater. Hell yeah.
So when I heard DVD, so Laserdisc was out, of course, and I never got Laserdisc. So then I'm like, okay, I'm buckling down. I'm like, I'm gonna buy Laserdisc, and then this thing, DVD started. What's this DVD thing? I'm like, it's all going to be on one disc, except some movies were still flipped. I had to flip Robin.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was flip. Yeah.
Yeah.
But most DVDs were on one disc, and it's like, oh, it's going to be cleaned up, and it's going to be easier. So I was like, So I waited, started to wait. I researched, figure. I'm like, okay, I'm going into DVD hardcore. And my mom used to go. My mom was a salesman, whatever. And she would do like a lot of just trade shows and stuff. So she would work for like a big chain here, and Eaton's. I don't know if you know what Eaton's is, but no.
I think you told me about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big thing. And then she moved on to other places. So she used to buy the toys. She used to know the buyer for toys. That's how I would get all the He-Mans, right? So she went to a show, and she's like, Jason, they have a DVD player here, a floor model. And it's like, these are like some of the first ones coming out. And it was like, it's enormous, right?
It's giant.
And she's like, it's $500. I was like, get it. I'll get it. I'll give you the, and I was like, I'm going to be the first one this time. And I was so happy. And then the first two movies I bought was Call the Conqueror.
Nice.
And I love that movie. And I got 89 Batman. The next two, The Thing, non-anamorphic widescreen, and it was $50.
Holy shit.
And I bought Mad Max. So, and then those were like my first 4 movies or so. Like,
you had $1,000 in that first setup of a rig for you. That's insane, man.
Batman, we're like, oh man, like,
hey, I remember the first DVD player, so I get it.
Yeah,
on cable still.
Oh,
it had been a while for me too, man.
Yeah. Have you guys? Did you see the trailer for Saturn 3?
No. I didn't watch it.
Oh, I'm going to, while we're talking, when you guys are talking, I'm going to be finding a picture for you. I'm going to get you a still shot from the trailer because it's abs. And if you have the Blu-rays or just watch the trailer online, you'll absolutely cry laughing. It's the best trailer ever. I swear you're gonna be stunned when I show you this still shot. Okay. So why don't we all? Okay, Sean, why don't you start? Tell us about your experience with both movies, and I'm gonna find that picture for you guys.
I didn't grow up with these. Outland. A mutual friend of J-Man's and I showed us Outland one time. Mostly what I remember is J-Man's commentary from that. But and we'll get into that when we get into like story and stuff. But yeah, no, it's cool. Like I know Sean Connery had a whole science fiction like thing going on, right? And I knew of Outland. I just never saw it on TV.
And
right?
I love Zardoz, by the way. I've got the novel.
You know what makes me laugh about
the John Borman novelization
of Zardoz? Explains more. Why does that guy talk backwards? I don't know.
Oh my God! Stop it. Go back to Ellen.
What makes me laugh about Zardoz is that whenever you hear about Sean Connery almost did Star Trek and almost was Gandalf and all that, the story is always like he didn't understand it, so he didn't do it. But he understood Zardoz? Like, what the hell, like, advanced trigonometry is his brain? But anyway, Saturn 3, I think you showed me that. I knew of it from the poster, but I didn't know anything. And when I saw it, it was pretty cool, and I was like, honestly, though, Outland and Saturn 3 are movies I probably wouldn't have watched as a kid. They seemed sort of, like, too cerebral and above me. I mean, they're probably not, but like when you're 6, they seem too kind of slow for me. So that's probably why I didn't really watch them as a kid. I sort of stayed away from that. So yeah, that's my story for those.
All right, Charlie.
Mine was, I wasn't very young when I watched them, so it was probably around the time when I started discovering like, holy shit, there's a ton of these awesome movies that have been out forever. I had always saw Outland at the rental store. You can't not see Sean Connery standing on the front with a shotgun. Yeah, just everything right there. And it always struck me, but it was one of the weird things. It was one I never remember my dad renting. And my dad rented all the action movies and stuff. So either he did and it didn't catch him or he just ignored it. But I remember watching it and I loved Outland. I always thought it was fantastic, especially if you watch that and then watch like Hunt for Red October, do that kind of movie, watch through. Saturn 3 was when I went through all of this killer robot movie phase I went through. It's like hardware, virus, Moon Trap, the one with Bruce Campbell and Chekhov. I went through this whole phase of just probably Nemesis. You know, these killer robots and these wild things. And I remember I watched Saturn 3 going, it looks cool. And we'll get into it later, but it was just, I think like Sean, I wasn't at the age that it grabbed me or I understood what I was watching. It was just like, oh, okay, that was a cool part. And then that was it. So yeah, I mean, I hadn't rewatched these for like 20, 25 years, something like that. It's been a while since I actually took the time to watch them till now. So that's my stories.
Yeah. So, well, Sean and I have the one similar thing. So I actually had 2 friends. They're both not on YouTube. One friend showed me Saturn 3, which was Sean, the other Sean.
The other Sean.
Sean showed me Saturn 3. Could not be reached. What's going on, man?
Yeah, could not.
Joe, thanks for popping in. Yeah, so my buddy, other Sean, he was the only, he was like kind of a person I found who liked the same movies. So my friends didn't really like the same kinds of things. Like they liked He-Man and you know, and stuff like that, but not the horror or weird stuff. Most people know me by one thing or another. Like I've got a couple of buddies who are at my work who are like, oh yeah, J-Man, he's into metal. And we went to go see Sleep. I don't know if you know Sleep, the stoner band.
I know who Sleep is.
Oh man, they're so good. Yep. Just that concert's awesome. So I went to go see them. Saw Maiden together a few times. You know, I saw what's it called? Who else I see? There's like I don't know. I'm blanking now. A bunch of them. And so I'm a metal guy. But then there's people who are like, oh yeah, he's a horror movie guy, right? And there's he likes superheroes and fantasy. So it's like I'm all things, right? But Sean was one of the few who was like kind of the same. Like we had the same. Like he loved Conan and horror and you know all the fantasy stuff. So it's like we would show each other movies, and like he showed me Saturn 3. He showed me Leatherface Texas 3. That was the first one I'd seen. I think Basket Case I saw at his place. Maniac Cop. Right. So these are movies that I could not have found on my own, and it was really difficult to find these. And then like I showed him Bad Taste or whatever because like I'd seen that, you know, like so we would kind of go back and forth, right? And we'd kind of almost fight it out, like. No, we're gonna watch the, you know. So I'd stop fighting with them. I'd be like, Sean, you show me. I would sit down and he's like, we're gonna watch The Burning. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it, never seen it. Let's watch it. And he'd show it to me, right?
Yep.
So then after that, I would go on and you know find my own stuff and buy these movies. So he showed me Saturn 3. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then our mutual friend of ours showed what Sean is saying. He showed us Outland. And like Sean Connery's awesome in that movie. I don't know. Like, I mean, like I don't know, like. I don't know. I just don't know.
We'll get into it with characters.
We'll get into it, but like it was awesome. But okay, I want to show you guys this thing. So I remember the trailer from when I first saw Saturn 3 like ages and ages ago. This is what it came out on maybe DVD or maybe Sean had a bootleg or something, but we'd seen the trailer for it. In the trailer, Harvey Keitel, who's dubbed for whatever reason they dubbed his voice,
so stupid.
Yeah. But whatever. He comes in, he's like, I'm the captain, whatever. And then Kirk Douglas is there and he's like, I'm what's his name, Captain? No, Alex or what's the guy's name?
Major, wasn't it?
Major, whatever. Yeah. He's like, I'm Major. He's like, and this is my partner. And then they cut to Farrah Fawcett.
Right, I remember this now.
You remember this now? Okay. This is what they cut to, and it's her standing there for like 4 seconds. Okay, this is what he's like. So I'm Captain whatever. I'm Major whatever, and this is my partner. And here's the picture they show. Are you ready?
Oh, it's that outfit.
And they never used it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not in the movie.
That's actually on IMDb too. When you look this movie, and there's a scene of her sitting in that outfit, and that's what's on IMDb in the images. And I'm sitting there going, "That ain't this movie." Yeah. That is not what this movie is.
Deleted scene, yeah. So if you go on YouTube, there's a guy who explains. He explains it. I didn't watch it because I'm like, obviously it was in some. Her hair is like that when she's going to Earth at the end.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's like Earth custom or whatever. Like Farrah Fawcett's nude in it anyway, so you didn't need to have like a sexy outfit. Like I actually thought like what she was wearing because it was more normal and loose. Like the thing, I guess we'll talk about this in Artistry. We'll get to that in Artistry.
That's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, come on, yeah. So yeah, could not be used a deleted scene exactly. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? But it's just so funny because you're like, and then you're sitting in the movie like, hey, this doesn't happen at all. Like, what is this? Like, you'd be pissed off. You're like, you know, not Halloween Ends pissed off, but pissed off.
Right.
All right, what's the time? Yeah, let's get it. We can just get into it.
That's fine.
So the way this is going to work is we're going to use our space, my space method, which is story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. But instead of giving a score for each category, we're going to do a versus and say which movie did it better. So which one has the better story, what has the better pacing, what has the better artistry, that kind of thing. I did not put the poll up. You see, I knew it.
Aha.
Oh my God, this is such a fail. Hold on.
That's all right. We got time.
What is better? This is what I usually do when I'm Saturn 3 or Outland. All right, guys, the poll is up. The official poll. It is up. You guys can vote. Phantom Outsider, how's it going, man? Hey, it's great. It's great talking to you on the members stream. We actually talked on and Sean was there too for
Clobbery's member stream. Yeah.
Member stream. That was really cool.
It was fun.
Yeah. So if you guys are members of Clobby's channel, he does that again. Make sure you come on because that was just shooting the shit. There wasn't any topics. It was just talking, talking. Okay. So we're gonna start with story, and let me look at my notes. So one movie for me did score higher by 1 point. So and that is going to be basically the story, like story enjoyment for me kind of go together because like one, I thought the story was a bit better, and then it kind of gets the enjoyment factor as well. So I'm kind of like giving away, what my thing is, but we'll see how it plays out because there's three of us. We're not going to get a tie. We won't have a tie this time.
No ties tonight.
There won't be a tie, so I won't have to do any breaking of the tie. All right. Okay. So let's go. We'll do Sean. Sean, which one did you think had a better story?
Outland, I think the story for both of them is flawed. So it's like, which is the least flawed?
Right.
I think the story for Saturn 3 is basically, it feels like one of those 8-page stories from an old EC comic, like Weird Science or something like that, stretched out into a big 90-minute, time slot, right? It's the kind of thing that you'd read in one of those EC comics where like there's two guys fighting over a girl in space, and and some horrific thing happens with a robot.
Well, we know which one wins in artistry, so
yeah.
Hey, there's naked ladies in Outland too, so we're fine. There's plenty of boobs to go around.
All right.
Outland, I think, is too married to its Western roots, to the point where it gets kind of flawed. It's like it opens up too many questions and tries to neat pat them at the end and stuff, and it's like this is a lot smarter than the Western roots that you're clinging on to, right? Because like the whole thing with like waiting for those guys, and then he picks them off one by one in a big action act 3, but it's like, why? Arrest them, and he's like, "Oh, how many people?" But there's a whole control room of people in your area with the marshal, and I don't get it, but it's cool. There's action, but I guess I because of the way that story is set up, I yearn for something more than just like showdown at the OK Corral at the end and all this BS, right? And it's like, arrest warrants are set in this throwaway line, and then he takes off, right? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a Saturn 3. I think the whole tension between the three is still compelling enough for the 90 minutes. Yeah, and it's got that horrific science fiction like horror vibe to it. To most people, science fiction horror is just Alien, right? There's an alien on board and you fight it. But here it's like this friction from the very beginning, and yeah, that dubbing is weird, but also it makes them off-putting, So yeah, I think Saturn 3 for the win for story for me. It's a weirdly strange, macabre type of story in space, which I like. So
yep. Okay, Charlie, what do you think?
We have a fight on our hands tonight.
Yeah.
I can break it up though.
It's fine. Outland, hands down, to me, had the better story because I don't know what the story is in Saturn 3. I don't know what was driving the other guy, Harvey Keitel. Like he kills someone at the very beginning. Why? He grabs a robot brain. Why? And he goes up there to solve the hunger problem. And it's not till he sees Farah before he's infatuated with her. But then what is the point of anything else? Like, he was so hell-bent on contacting Earth till he found out they were in Eclipse. But I'm like, Earth doesn't know you're there. You're not the guy that's supposed to be there.
Right.
What are you doing? And then it's just a bunch of naked Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett for like 30 minutes. Farrah Fawcett, I don't mind. Kirk Douglas, no. I don't need that. And you nailed it. It felt like one of those little quick little stories, or even a television show, like a Twilight Zone episode that they went, oh, let's make a movie. Mm-hmm. Outland, I'll agree. It is very Western-ish. It does have its flaws, but man, I know what's happening. I know what the purpose is. This guy is driven by honor, driven by purpose. It's his job. You know, he's dealing with the issues with his family. His wife and kid left him. He is on a new area that you already can see, like there's this status quo. There's a mystery to it. There's some suspense to it. And I love how it unfolds. And I watched it today, and I'm telling you, man, I was never bored watching this. I only was not bored during Saturn 3 as when Farrah Fawcett popped up on screen. And I'm like, yeah. And then I would remember Kirk Douglas was on top of her, and I'd be like, no. But we'll get into it more as it breaks down, but I'm giving it to Outland, man. That one for story blows it out of the water.
All right, so I'm gonna have to break it up here. Well, I'm definitely gonna break it up because
that's fine.
I researched a little bit on Saturn 3, and they wrote the story on a piece of toilet paper, and then there's nothing happens in Saturn 3. It's unbelievable. Like, my wife and I were watching Saturn 3 together. She was watching. She's like, "Oh, cool! This is really cool." And I was like thinking, like, I remember not a lot of things being answered in this, because she's like, "Oh, because like it's very intriguing. This guy infiltrates. He kills that guy through the airlock, and he grabs that thing." Like, what did he grab? Oh, it's this brain. Hey, Masters. It's like he puts in this robot. This is really neat. And it's like, and I remember thinking, I'm like, I don't think anything happens though. And I remember thinking in my head, and my wife was like, and then she started to lose interest, and she's like, does anything happen? I was like, I don't think anything happens. I think the robot just goes crazy. And she's like, but why did he kill him? I was like, I either don't remember or they never say. My memory is pretty good, but not all the time. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, Jay, you got a great memory." I do, but not all the time. It fails, right, from time to time. Plus, I'm older. I was like, I don't think the answer. So I watched the whole thing, like, yeah, there's no answer. Like, it's just nothing. And I thought, you know what? This movie's awesome because it's like nothing happens, but I'm kind of pumped up for it anyways. I'm like, I would watch it again. Like, I got the Blu-ray. I'm like, I just watched this movie again. But Outland is way better. Like I'm with Sean Connery. I despise that villain. I want to. And he's like, "Oh, I'm calling the boys." He's like, "You calling them in? Call them in.
Call them in. Call them in, man. Call them in.
Call them in. Bring them in. I'm gonna roll the red carpet out." And then he walks around and he's like, "Who's gonna come in and step up?" And it was, "Oh, I can't do shit that day." It's like, okay,
you're here to protect us. Yeah.
It's like, I don't need your shit. It's like, get out of my way then. If you're not, I don't know what movie was that. It's like, help me out or get out of the Conan. That's Conan. He's like, "Oh, the gods will watch upon this battle." He's like, "Are they going to help? Then tell them to stay out of the way." It's like,
you just wait for Sean Connery to go, "To hell with you," and then that's it.
It's like, and then I was like, "Yeah, screw it." And then Sean Connery walking around being cool. I'm like, man, this is fucking so cool. And even with the wife leaving, I was like, I don't know. I thought it painted a better picture of characters. We'll get to characters, but like Sean Connery's life and I like that there was a mining thing, and I do like the mystery that is solved. It's like it's like, why are they going crazy? And I like that he just immediately gets on the case. Look, he's a cop. I gotta tell you, from the very second of when he stood there and started talking to the crew, and then there's that one guy who's like, "Oh," it's like, "Well, here's what we do." He's the manager of the factory manager.
Yeah, Peter Boyle.
And it's like, I'm like, I've literally been in these meetings because we also have a factory. We in my day job, and I'm like, Oh my God, I've literally seen this play out where like the factory floor supervisor is at odds with like the sales manager guy. You know what I mean?
That's
and they're
it.
kind of like one up each other. I was like, this is like literally exactly the same dialogue. It's like, well, we're all good. We're all friends here. We just want to make sure everything's going smoothly. It's like, you're a douchebag, right? So I thought the Outland story was better. Saturn. Oh, so you hate this. Master, stop it. You're an Outland. That's you gotta Masters, you gotta join my Yours World Facebook group because that will be happening. Yours going to venture out.
G-Man's putting your in everything.
I'm putting your in everything, yeah. Much pressure on me way back, came out so much. Yeah, I mean I like Saturn 3.
Like, oh, it's a good movie. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and rag on the movie. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I like Saturn 3. I bought it on Blu-ray. I was excited. I could literally watch it again like right now. I could put it.
You know what's funny? Just as an aside, like we're doing this thing where this whole tournament is basically stuff that was made because Star Wars happened. It's not necessarily inspired by it, but like studios greenlit all this stuff. But you look at the variety of stuff. It's different than what would happen today. Yeah. It would all just be cookie cutter, the same kind of thing. But it's like, Saturn 3 is not Star Wars, but they're like, yeah, robots and like, Psycho Man and, it's like Space Raiders is different, It's like they're all sort of like different and do their own new cool thing while still adhering to what you want to see, right?
Right.
That wouldn't really happen today. How many Marvel ripoffs are there,
Oh, so yeah. Well, right. Yeah. And
well, when DC did it, they did it wrong, but whatever. Right. Yeah. We'll just go grimdark and unappealing. Anyway.
Our buddy Could Not Be Reached, who's in the Facebook group.
Yep, I see his stuff.
A Predator. I did not ask for that. That just came as a surprise.
It was glorious.
That's happening.
It was glorious.
It's glorious. No, that is happening. The Predator will be landing on Yours World. I just want to get through the movie. I just want to get through the movie elements first before I start venturing Your out. I also made a Your role-playing game literally out of sheer boredom to do something. I just make up stuff. Like I'm like, let me make a role-playing game. So I took D&D and reworked it to be Your, which is great. And I added technology and stuff. Yeah. I'm a very fun person. Okay. All right. So that's the story. So Outland is going to win on story for this one. Let's go into pacing. So let's go with Charlie first on pacing then.
Outland. Because there's literally parts of Saturn 3 that I'm just like, okay, quit talking. Okay, I'm tired of watching you guys walk on these endless corridors everywhere. I have no idea what the hell Harvey Keitel is doing. And then all of a sudden, naked Kirk Douglas. Then all of a sudden, naked Farrah Fawcett. Oh, as much as everyone in the chat right now is like naked Farrah Fawcett, there is equally the amount of naked Kirk Douglas.
No, there is not. I think there's more naked Farrah. I timed it.
Were you paying more attention to Farrah than the Kirk ones though?
Yeah, because I could be. I like
there's a lot. Block one half of the screen out.
Yeah.
But as far as just it would go in spurts. Like there's some interesting stuff. It starts like hard, just like Outland does. Outland starts hard too. I don't know whether to put it in Artistry or what, but the head popping scenes in Outland are some of my favorite things in the entire movie. And they start with that, like just boom. Scanners.
It might be the first to introduce that space trope of like, if you're in space, your head expands and blows up.
First one. Neat.
And they don't shy away from it. Like I wanted everyone to die that way. That's how I was in that movie. But pacing, it was just Outland there is never a spot that I'm bored or that it slows down with too much fill in. Like even when it's Sean Connery and Peter Boyle the two main villains are just casually having conversations about, I'm going to catch you. He goes, you can try. I'm going to kill you. You can try. And I'm there for it, man. I'm loving the interaction between those two. And it would go from there to Sean Connery setting up the base to people watching him. And you're just like, no one's going to help. You kind of figure that the doctor is, they kind of show that. But No one on his team is going to. They're all comfortable. They all don't believe he's going to win. So it's like, why rock the boat? We'll get another Marshall. But pacing wise, man, it just goes. Saturn 3 goes, slows. So Outland.
Yeah. Double C, how's it going, man? I posted a review of Halloween Ends with some spoilers. It's trash. Life Force, I absolutely love.
I'm seeing it right there in my shelf. Yeah,
that would win just because of May. That's all there is to it.
But no, literally, I love Life Force. That's not even going in this competition because I think for me that would just win it all. Like
it's kind of horror-ish. To me, it's a very Quatermass type of movie. But yeah,
I haven't. Yeah, so you know what? I gotta watch those, man. I got those. We talked about Quatermass.
Yeah, I gave them to Steve. Like I have them too, but yeah.
Like people said Naked Julie Andrews.
10 Naked Bo Derek.
Yeah, well, that's
I was Dudley Moore.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was my response with Kirk Douglas. Why?
Pourquoi?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So, Sean, what do you think was better?
Pacing, Outland. I mean, the thing is, it's very linear. So it's like the first act is all these cool deaths, is like people just getting blown up in space and stuff,
right.
With that amazing music too. But we'll get to Artistry.
Yeah.
And then like it's like we're solving the issue with that cantankerous Bones McCoy type of doctor, and then the big showdown and everything. So yeah, I mean it's like I think it's 10 minutes longer than Saturn 3. Saturn 3 feels longer than than Outland.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, Outland, I mean, like, I made fun of him shooting everyone, but it is awesome. It's like the greenhouse and all that stuff.
Shotguns in space.
He puts like a suit on and goes outside, and then
he goes outside into space. And then one guy's like, she's like, oh, he's outside. He's like, we're outside. And
I don't know. It's outside.
That was the deputy.
That was Ballard, or whatever his name was.
Yeah, that was the guy he asked to help him.
He didn't have his own guys on his team, man.
No, everyone was against him.
Yeah.
They either stayed neutral or they were on the payroll. That the Peter Boyle even says on the phone call, I have an inside guy, he'll get the word out. Yeah. That was that guy that they were foreshadowing.
That guy was almost like, well, I am the Act 3 twist, and this is Act 3, so I should get out there and shoot him.
Exactly.
I'll go with Outland for pacing.
I'll go with Outland as well. But I don't find Saturn 3 boring in any way. I watched it all.
It's just slower.
I'm like, I'm okay with this. I like this. They're just like, I don't know what happened. This became like young man versus old man versus robot, and the winner gets Farrah Fawcett, and nobody won. And I thought that was very progressive. That was very progressive. That they're all fighting over this like naked hot chick. The robot wanted her. Kirk Douglas wanted her. What's his face? Harvey Keitel.
The dog wanted her. Yeah.
The audience, most of them wanted her. So you're like, this is And
we're just sitting there waiting for that outfit from the trailer. Yeah,
that's right. That's why we're That's why we're all sitting in the theater. Where's the outfit? Shows the outfit. No outfit. Oh shit!
It's like the audience for Blue Lagoon. It's like
Exactly. I love that movie.
Are you gonna have sex yet? Like that's the whole premise of that movie. Is just sitting there in the dark, looking at waiting for.
I returned to Blue Lagoon because that's Mila.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that whole thing was a franchise. Like. God.
At some point, you start to think it's like, well, how does she shave? And like, it's like,
what she do for tampons? Like,
right? Like,
I thought they covered that in one of them, don't they?
Oh, did they?
I don't know if it's the first one or the second one.
Give me an excuse to rewatch those because I only watched them. But yeah, no, I thought the pacing was better in Outland because the story you're following it along. I like the mystery. Like it is the big 3 act. Like there's a mystery, right? So what's going on? And then he starts to figure it out. The players start to get that we learn who the villains are. We learn that there's guys coming. I like the idea that there's literally a countdown to when they're coming, which is a Western thing. Or they're coming at this time or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's fine. But I like the Western in space. and we'll get to Artistry in a minute too. But like, I just was pumped up to see where this was going, even though Sean Connery's obviously going to win. I don't think for sure, because this isn't a movie that's like a for sure Sean Connery's going to, like, if you're watching, like, obviously James Bond you'd think would win, except for in that last movie where he didn't win. But most of the time,
40 minutes and 35 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, sorry, James Bond, garbage James Bond.
It was bound to happen with Sean Connery.
Well, Owen compared Halloween Ends to No Time to Die, so that was his.
Oh God.
Subscribe to Owen at the Action Elite. So I would link it in the description. No. So yeah, pacing goes to Outland. I was just more interested in the story, but I don't think Saturn 3 is boring, and I actually don't find it slow. I was super okay with it. I like him slowly building this robot and connecting it together and all that. So I didn't think the pacing was bad. It's just that because the story wasn't engaging enough, I'm like, yeah, it's just going to be them ogling each other. Though Saturn 3, I was waiting. I'm like, maybe something will happen now. Maybe something new will happen. Maybe something will happen. Then it's like, while I was watching it, I wasn't bored. But then when it was over, I'm like, wow, nothing really happened. They didn't explain any of it. I'm like, wow.
But there's the scenes like, oh, we have these pills. They're like, blues, and there's like a narcotic. That didn't go anywhere. It was ridiculous. And it was just Farrah Fawcett walking around flipping a switch, writing down in a clipboard. And then it would be a scene of Harvey Keitel working on the robot, or Kirk Douglas just aimlessly working on something somewhere. I have no idea. I know they were trying to fix the hunger problem on Earth. That's all I could gather. And I still don't know why Harvey Keitel was there.
They're doing science.
Oh,
I'm going in my cabin to do science.
All science.
I love the Lost Skeleton of Cadaver. We gotta rewatch that, Scott.
That made me laugh for like 8 hours, man.
We have to pause, man. That was so funny. Have you ever seen the Lost Skeleton of Cadaver?
I don't think I have.
So you know how like, have you seen Black Dynamite with Michael Jai White? Okay. Yeah. So you know how Black Dynamite is a current movie, but it's made to look like an old blaxploitation.
Yeah.
So Lost Skeleton of Cadaver is a new movie that's made to look like a black and white cheesy horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Like 60s or something.
From I'd say maybe 50s even. 50s, but like there's a girl in the cat suit and she's an alien.
Annamala.
Her name is Annamala or something. I'm like, okay.
I'd watch
and
that.
The aliens are terrible. And then the skeleton is evil. It's literally like a high school science class skeleton, and like you can see the thing, it rises up, and like you can see that they're pulling it up, right? Because it looks bad.
Right.
It's on purpose.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have risen.
It's just this thing like held up with string. Yeah.
It's awesome. I'll check that out.
Like, I have risen. And you're like, nothing's happening. That's a lost gem. I don't think anyone.
No one talks about it anymore. Yeah.
Okay, Artistry. All right, I gotta look at my notes here for Artistry, because this one was a tough one for me. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I actually gave them the same score.
Yeah.
But I have different reasons for each score.
Yeah.
So this is a weird one. So let's go with Charlie. Why don't you go first on Artistry?
This is, like you're saying, it's probably one of the more difficult categories for me. So I went at it this way. I took the robot out of the equation. Okay. Because Outland doesn't have anything as spectacle as that. So if I base it on that alone, Outland would actually win the Artistry, because I felt like I was on a base. I think it was either Clobberin time or Could Not Be Reached did a comment earlier where it was like, I kept waiting for the xenomorph to jump out while watching Outland. I actually had the thought today of going, this is Weyland-Yutani without any aliens. This would be like some kind of corporate espionage type thing going on, because I felt like that was that universe. Like it's a total like James Cameron kind of thing. I was in, and I loved, like, there's the corridors, there's a greenhouse. They show us that. There's the cafeteria, all their different rooms, the offices. It was world building. We saw the shuttles, we saw the outside. They go outside, and I love that. Now they do a lot of that in Saturn 3, but it felt like watching an episode of like, I can't even think of the name of it right now, where they get lost in space. Where they get lost in space. But it looked like that with a little bit better budget, but I got that feel, especially how the way they acted outside. I will give points to both movies that neither used any footage from Battle Beyond the Stars at all. It's finally we have unique spaceships in the movie. Yeah, and I mean, while shotguns aren't the best weapon to use in space stations, I did think that was cool. I liked it. How do you deal with large crowds? A handgun ain't gonna do nothing. Scattergun, you use a shotgun. But if I put the robot back in, it goes heavier Saturn 3. I'm actually tied. I mean, I hate to do that, but that's where it is. Take the robot out, it's Outland by a little bit. Put the robot in, which I feel is just like
have to, because that is the selling point.
That is the movie right there. I don't know. I want to see what you guys say. I'm playing that card now too. It's down to Sean.
All right, so hold on. Let me, because I'm gonna do tied as well and then let's see what Sean says, and then we'll see if Sean can convince either of us to change.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
So Alien, like Ridley Scott Alien Part 1, is my 11th favorite movie. It just doesn't squeeze into top 10, but I think it's like a masterpiece. I think it's like beautifully shot. I love the interior. I've literally, because I have multiple copies of it on all formats, I would pause that movie and draw it out. I owned an escape room. I don't know if you knew that, Charlie, or no. Oh, I owned an escape room for 5 years. I had to close because of COVID. But I owned an escape room. Yeah. So I was actually designing an alien escape room where the ship's crashing and you have to get to the shuttlecraft, right? So
that would be awesome.
I know.
I'd be in for that.
I had a great story for it. I had a lot of great puzzles. You have to assemble a circuit board because it's like there's been an alien infestation and it's just destroying the ship. So everything's off key. The doors are all locked. So you have to figure out ways to unlock them. And the computer's gone haywire. So it's like you have to figure out the computer's puzzles to get out before the infestation gets too much, get on a shuttle and escape, right? Yeah. So anyway, I went to Alien right away, which is like, well, that's the one. And I was sketching out like how I could build the walls and what I could put. I think it's amazing. And when I saw Outland, I didn't remember this because I hadn't seen Outland in a long time. I was like, wow, this is awesome. This feels like a real place that you can go to. And I was like, this is like Alien. I was like, wow. No, it's not as good as Alien, but like,
but aesthetically.
Right. This is like kind of like, wow, like, yeah, this could have been in the Alien universe as just a Weyland. If they would have just said Weyland-Yutani, then you're like, wow, this could have been part of it.
That right? Totally would have fit, and I'd have bought it. Exactly.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Now, but Saturn 3 looks a lot more fun. It's vibrant. It's colorful. The robot's kind of neat. It's the first time there's a robot that looks like it's a real robot. There is a downside to that because, like, I'm like, you could outrun this thing. Like, you could just walk backwards and be like, "Ha, you can't get me."
I'm the only one.
I'm
the only one in the world that doesn't like Hector. I think he looks stupid. I don't like that head. And whenever he walks around, he's like shaking because they have him on string or some freaking thing.
Okay, so hold on a second. So hold on. Okay, so hold on.
Okay. I'm going to take him out of the equation, but yeah.
No, but okay, so yeah. The thing with this is the thing. People always say, well, we want a robot that looks like a real, like, what would a robot actually look like? It would have a camera, right? And it would read things.
I guess, but...
Right? And when you see real robots, like, you know, it's like, and even the robots, they have the little mini ones, they look like functioning real robots, right? But real robots, I wrote this as a note, as a note down here, real robots suck. They suck in movies because they can't do anything. That's why the Terminator is just Schwarzenegger and he's a robot underneath.
Yeah.
And then he's stop motion. Now in CGI, you could do stuff and then stop motion. But having an actual functioning robot doing stuff sucks. It's like, I could easily run around Hector. He would never get me. Like I could have easily knocked him over at any time. Like it's like this is like hyper unrealistic. But they wanted to keep it real. So I'm going to give them some credit for that. It's what people always say they want. And I think it looks really fun. So I'm kind of tied. I'm leaning a little bit more to Outland. But
yeah,
Sean, what do you think?
I was going to say Fritz Lang made a better robot in the 1920s. So I don't know, for Metropolis, but whatever. I want to point something out, though, just as an aside. We keep begging on movies that steal stuff from Battle Beyond the Stars. We didn't mention. I don't think I could make this one, but we didn't. You guys didn't mention Ice Pirates stole footage from Logan's Run for some of the exteriors of that planet.
That's right.
I noticed it twice, and I was like, "What the hell?" Back then, they did that all the time. I remember A-Team episodes where they would just take stuff from other movies and just like fold it into their episode.
Well, other movies sold it. Once that movie was out, they looked at it as a commodity. So they didn't give a shit that you use their stuff. They got paid.
Yeah,
so it was a great way to save costs for a lot of movie makers and studios.
That shot where the airplane crashes into the airport in airplane was used in everything in the 80s. Oh yeah. Like it was crazy.
How many times did that same Klingon ship blow up in Star Trek?
Yes.
The exact
how many Star Trek
same
God. Yeah. Even in Generations, like the sisters, that their ship blows up in that same.
It's the same.
Yeah. Okay. So for Artistry, my problem with Saturn 3 looks cool. There's some cool stuff in it. My problem with it is it's too hodgepodge. It's not of one vision or one universe. Right. It's just it looks cool. It's like that weird pad with those people, those shadowy people looks cool. Looks like they bought it from somewhere. I don't know. They might have made it themselves, but it doesn't feel like a lived-in universe as much as Outland does. And Outland doesn't do it by accident. It looks like they really took a lot of care in creating that whole world. We've seen movies in this tournament, like what's the name of that one with Red Brown? But I've forgotten it now.
Oh,
anyway, Space Mutant. Where they take a real and even some of Space Raiders, like they take a real factory and say this is the factory in space. Right. It's like we're not going to dress it or anything, And you can look at it and be like, yeah, I mean it's a factory. Okay, that's cool. Here they built everything in Outland, and it looks functional. It looks like it would be a real factory in space. And they took a lot of care. Like, there's not a lot of Jetsons bullshit. It seems like a plausible future. Like the guy playing golf, and that actually happened in real life and in the future. So like in 10, 20 years after that, right? So I mean, look, Saturn 3, it looks fun at times and colorful. It's sort of like someone's just tossing ideas out there, and stuff just doesn't seem like it all fits and gels together. But Outland, I mean, even in the exterior where they're fighting out in space, and everything looks like just like buildings in space, right? And it looks like someone actually sat down and thought about this, and also just what would happen to the human body in space, right? That's another part of the artistry here, because as I said, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time, because that's such a space trope now. Right. I think it's the first time you saw heads expand. They used it in Total Recall, but heads expand in space, and that's what they think would happen.
Oh yeah, they went the horror route with that.
Yeah,
with the eyeballs coming out.
Yeah, the eyeballs coming out and stuff.
This predates that too. I mean, this
is by a lot. This is 80 or 81 or something like that.
81, I think, is what it is. So this is before Scanners. This is before Total Recall.
Yeah.
This might be. I don't know. This might be one of the first exploding heads. I mean, if you really look into
it's not Scanners, but in terms of exploding heads in space, what would happen to the human body in space? That's a thing that's used constantly after that. So to me, hands down, it's Outland. I have no real, not that I have any hatred for Saturn 3. I just feel like it's sort of disjointed, a lot of the stuff in there, and I never liked that robot. I never liked it. I don't care that it's realistic. Why are you all of a sudden going for realism? It's like he ran out of money for that head or something like that. Good God, C-3PO looks better in this thing. And
how did it get out of that pit? That thing couldn't move on flat ground. How did it get out of the pit? That's all there is to. That should have been it. I actually was watching it going, man, I thought this movie was longer than this because I thought, okay, he's gonna win.
Raquel, all I read was boobies and bums, so I have to read the entire thing now. It's like
boobies. You have to pick one. You got to pick one.
Oh, you got to pick one. Okay.
They do. Hold on, the next one.
Yeah. So let's see what we're at now. So 57% are with Outland right now.
Well, I'm going to say Sean swayed me now that I don't have to feel guilty that I'm going to shit on the robot. And it's because I'm also remembering the miniature work on Outland is phenomenal. Like it feels like they built this thing because they really did in miniature form, on sets, everything. It feels real, it, and that's kind of, I guess this will still fit in artistry is Outland felt realistic. It was just in a futuristic setting. Right. Just happened to be on another planet. It could have happened on Earth. It could have happened anywhere that we're used to. You wouldn't have had the floating in space, but we've watched guys fight on the side of buildings. We've watched guys fight on the side of dams, all this other stuff. So it was nothing that I had to like stretch my imagination. Greed is the bad guy in the movie. And so I liked that a lot more than I'm going to link my brain into a robot that has zero mobility and it's going to fall in love with Farrah Fawcett because it's locked into my brain, but yet it develops its own brain as it goes through. And Kirk Douglas is just, like, I'm naked. And
I'm naked.
I'm naked.
All I could think of was before that dude showed up, neither of them wore clothes at all.
Yeah. Well, that's she goes to get the dog naked, and then he goes, whoa, wait a minute, and throws a thing. It's like, oh yeah, there's a guy on board.
That's the second you're like, they do science naked. That is what they do.
I mean,
I just want to say one thing too. What would clinch this also is Jerry Goldsmith's score, which I forgot to mention. It really elevates it. He elevates everything, but it really elevates this movie. Even just like guys walking around is awesome because of that score. It's like it's like you see a guy walking, it's like, oh, what's he up to? Like
the whole like the chase, which is just them running around the station.
Right.
That music I'm expecting like a car chase or something. It's like it's intense and it's just guys playing, cat and mouse. But it's amazing. See? Naked science.
Science. I don't believe. What does he say? He goes, "You're always down on me because I believe in science." From Nacho Libre, which is one of my favorite movies. I think that the writer of that and Napoleon Dynamite, I think that guy's a genius. It's the same people who made Napoleon Dynamite who made Nacho Libre.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's genius, and it's like. You just don't like me because I believe in science. And then he's like, he goes, I'm concerned that you're not baptized for our next match because we're fighting the devil's helpers or whatever. It's like those little guys. It's like those little midget devil guys.
I gotta watch that again. I haven't seen that since the theater. Like when we
my wife and I rewatch that every year. It's fun. The Lord's chips and all that.
With science.
Science, yeah. See Nacho Libre, man. It's like,
yeah, because Napoleon Dynamite's great too, man. With the tater tots, he's like taking it from his pocket and he goes,
"Give me your tots."
Hey, Napoleon, give me your tots. It's like, no, give me, and then he kicks it. It's like, ew, gross.
And he's like, go ahead and stay home and eat all the chips, Kip. He's like, Napoleon, you're just jealous because I've been chatting with babes all day. But Dietrich Bader, who's got the American flag. He's like, he wants the roundhouse kick to the face while wearing these bad boys. Think about it. the Rex Kwon Do, whatever it is like, I've developed my own system. Rex Kwon Do. I love tots. Yeah, tots. Yes. Oh my God!
I'm saying it's a thing, man. It's a thing. I just learned naked science.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Outland, anyways, because I love Alien. I like that realistic kind of gritty. Like this is a real place, and I could see why the wife was like, yeah, what am I doing here? Like, this sucks.
Yeah,
like,
that's bullshit. Yeah.
Like, why
and
am
it
I
wasn't the first time. You can tell, like, you got the feeling they'd done this a lot. I mean, she sells that whole thing. You know, she's leaving the second he walks out of that room. She sucks at lying. And I almost feel like he kind of knows too, but he's like,
he doesn't know what to do about
on the job. She's stuck around this long. Where's she going to go? I mean,
Yeah.
I won't lie. The other video when he's talking to his kid, that got me. You know, I got kids, and I'm just like, damn, that hit hard for me. You know, whereas he's like, I miss you, Dad. Are you coming with us? And he's getting ready to have he's getting ready to have the showdown, and he's like, I don't know if I'm going to live, but I'll be there. I'll as soon as I'm done here, I'll be home. And I'm like, yeah, he's saying home, but he could be saying I might be dead. I was just like, damn.
Well, we can get into character since we've already started.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Sean Connery is awesome in that movie, but also because the villains are more like, you know, clearer. They're more like an action movie villain. It's like, okay, they're greed. It's a corporation. You're immediately on Sean Connery's side. He's a family man.
Yeah.
You're with him. He's alone. I always like. I love movies. If you actually look at the movies that I really love, it's always what I call like a private war. So like Alien, Phantasm, even
Conan.
Like Conan. Anytime it's like this, like kind of small one person or a group, small little group where they're fighting something, it's like Conan. It's like Escape from New York, right? Like
Die Hard.
Die Hard, right? Yeah. These are all like 10.
I mean, that is the trope of action movies, though. Really,
right.
Until we got into the Expendables, you could name an action, Con Air, you know, any of this stuff that's just one guy overcoming adversity, you know, and that's what Outland ends up being.
And I like movies where nobody else knows what's going on too. Like it's like Escape from New York, where nobody knows what Snake is doing. Like he just saved the president, but nobody really knows because they're not going to give him credit, right? Well, he also destroyed the
he's not going to get a parade. They're not going to be like Snake Plissken saved the world on a rotating newspaper that flies across the screen. You know, you're not going to get that.
Right. I love Outlander, the new one. Shinger's will be home, go home. Yeah, I'm glad he's going to go home. Yeah. So Saturn 3, you know, the problem is because we don't know what Harvey Keitel is actually up to. You're just like, I can't get a hold on this character. It's like it seems like this character had this plan. He's like, okay, I've got to infiltrate this base. I'm going to either hold Earth hostage, or I don't know if I'm going to take this over. Like, and then he sees Farrah Fawcett. He's like, oh, I'm just horny for her, and that's all I care about. And I'm like, okay, but now I can't get behind your plan or even want you to be. It's, I don't even get it. It's like, so he wants to rape her. That's all I can see. So I'm like, I guess I'm with Kirk Douglas.
I took it as they both have selfish. Like Kirk Douglas isn't a saint either. They both have selfish reasons to be with her, and they both die, and then she's free at the end to go to Earth.
I told you it's liberating.
That was
it's
my
very
thing.
Progressive movie. It's very
it's a progressive movie.
I always said that. I said it.
No, I think it really is supposed to be movies. That. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm the progressive movie master. Where we see this face, you're gonna see.
Yeah.
No, like I don't. So I guess Outland for me had the better characters, just because I understood their motivations more. And I like when the hero's like, "Look, I'm here to do a job. I'm going to do it." He could have easily taken the pay. Sean Connery could have easily taken the pay, did his 6 months, or I don't know, whatever the time was, like did his time, a year, do his 12 months, and then leave.
6 months, I can't remember. Yeah,
I don't remember. That doesn't matter. But like
he could have got more money. Honestly, he was like, "Oh, you're doing a play to get more? How much?" Like, he would have got it. All you had to do was play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess Sean, what do you think?
Where are we at? Character now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Outland. God damn. Like the thing is that I liked Saturn 3 for its grittiness and like nastiness.
Yeah.
Part of that is what I just said. It's like the characters are not likable. You know, so it's not like I don't even like Kirk Douglas, and he is a dirty old man in that movie. It's like he totally is, right? And he's not right either, right? So you're supposed to, I guess, like Farrah Fawcett, but like she's a complete ditz in that film too. She's just running around like, oh no, It's like, are you a scientist? Like, how is that? It's like that. It's like what's her face from which James Bond movie was it, man?
Christmas.
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah.
Denise Richards.
Yeah.
I like
Denise
the
Richards.
I like The World Is Not Enough. I have the poster and all that.
Denise Richards in real life is a quick-witted woman. Like, she's hilarious in interviews and stuff. In that movie, she's an idiot, and it's like, well, how are you?
Wasn't she a doctor in that one too? And they made her like that stupid
like a
ditzy
nuclear scientist or
something.
something.
The nuclear scientist, but she was super ditzy in that. Yeah.
No, Outland, like Sean Connery alone, him walking around and like smart mouthing people is wicked, man. It's like, and I like the doctor. I mean, it's basically the McCoy trope, you know, but like, but she's great. She's great at it. And like, do you want to drink? And he's like, yes. He's like, and like, he's almost defeated. And she's like, all right, like, you know, she's like, your wife's an idiot, right? You know, I love all that stuff.
Wow, that was good.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. It's a Marshall joke. It's like, holy shit.
I like the villain guy when he's like he's trying to assert his authority on Sean Connery in the beginning. He's like, listen, you know, like, you gotta just keep away and blah 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 blah. And then Sean Connery's all mad and he's like, who does that guy think he is? Like, and one guy's like, he's just feeling you out, man. Relax, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I love all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, like, Sean Connery, I mean, it's the Sean Connery brand walking around and being pumped up, you know. So yeah, I know it's gotta be Outland, man. God.
All right, so I mean, literally Outland's already won this, but anyways, Charlie, what do you think?
I mean, characters, I can never go against my man Sean Connery. I mean, you guys nailed it, man. They made Farrah Fawcett in Saturn 3 the eye candy. That's literally was her job. Like, even when the like patrol comes by to check on them and they're like, hey, how's she doing? You know, can we hear her voice?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, Jesus Christ, guys, settle down. You know, come on. But yeah, the whole thing is I have no backstory to Harvey Keitel, so I don't understand his character. Exactly. I understand, but I need a little more. But, you know, I don't understand the Harvey Keitel character. Kirk Douglas was just kind of like, F it, I'm old, you're young, you should leave, I'll stay. But, you know, he's still laying in bed with her at night. You know, it's just like, that was a dick measuring contest for Farrah Fawcett. Yeah. Then we get into Outland, which is a true dick measuring contest where he's like, we have a certain way of doing things around here, you know. And then every time they would get into it in their own, like, you know who the bad guy is and the good guy is. You guys are enemies and you're both like playing. I'd do a 9-iron. You'd get nice, easy swing and it'll get you out further. I just loved that whole back and forth between those guys. Mm-hmm. The doctor, like Sean said, one of my favorites. I loved. She's just immediately annoyed with him the second he shows up. She makes dumbass jokes. He makes a joke that's like, damn. It's like, I'll beat the shit out of you. That's a Marshall joke. It's like, holy fuck, man. That's a little harsh. But I mean, I liked all of like little secondary characters. You know, no one like had to do anything crazy. They all like ended up being spineless at the end. So you have to believe Sean Connery. And then the henchman at the end, one of them's Hatchet Harry from Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels with the dead eye. And I don't know why you would put a sniper scope on a shotgun from the other guy. I still don't understand. It's the future. The sniper shotgun. I don't know why I have this attachment, but I brought it, and goddamn it, I'm going to use it. You know, it's just, you know, we got all these little things like, and it's like Peter Boyle knew what Sean Connery was going to do the entire time. You know, he knew he'd probably get his phone line tapped. He knew he was watching him through cameras, and he didn't give a shit. He just flat out was just like, yeah, well, I'm hiring people to kill you. I don't care. And Sean Connery was just like, cool, if you don't care, I don't care. And we're going to go at it. And I bought that, you know. And this was also a great Sean Connery that didn't like him copying Bond in this movie. You know, he didn't do Bondism. He wasn't womanizing the doctor. You know, it wasn't all this other, you know, smooth, cool. Right. He was cool, but he's Sean Connery cool, you know, like Highlander cool. Highlander 2, kind of cool. but stuff like that.
Don't do Highlander 2. There's so many people in the chat that know I love that movie.
I know. We'll go down a rabbit because I love it too. Yeah. But that's also probably the reason I watched Highlanders. Is like I need more Sean Connery movies.
Yes,
but characters hands down, Outland. I mean, it's just the better written and better performed, characters of the movies.
Yeah, so I mean, we're at obviously enjoyment. We're all going to say Outland because we said it for everything other category anyway.
I mean, I did. I'll just go ahead and say that way I don't have to drag it out. Outland. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
So why don't we do this? Sean, is it Outland? Do you enjoy it?
It's Outland, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we could take. There's something that in Outland when they're running around and chasing. That was almost like a parkour. It was like approaching. Like what eventually became like a District B or one of these like parkour movies.
Yeah, kind of. Where they're jumping over the corridors.
There's a lot of jumping around. I'm like, this is really neat. And I forgot the guy, the first guy who takes the hostage, who's taking the hooker hostage.
The drug dealer guy.
Yeah, the guy from Beverly Hills Cop. It's the main villain from Beverly Hills Cop.
His name was Sagan in this, and I can't remember. He's the one that Eddie Murphy is messing with
Maitland.
the entire.
It's Mr.
Victor Maitland.
Yeah.
Victor Maitland. Yeah.
He's also in Rambo 2 or 3.
Rambo 2. He's the Russian general that comes in, and they put him on the mattress that's electrified.
Oh, cool.
He's a perfect bad guy. And actually, I was pissed he died so freaking quick in this movie.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was going to be like one of the main henchmen. And I love Peter Boyle in this, man, but you can never see that guy's face without either A, Young Frankenstein, or B, Everyone Loves Raymond. It's so hard to see his face. And he had facial hair too. And it was just like, I like you, but it just doesn't fit for what I know you for.
Right? He's so goofy in that show, and it's just like. But no, you know what? No, I thought he was a dick. I wrote down. I don't remember the actor's name, but I it's Raymond's dad. That's
Peter Boyle. Peter Boyle. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he's a total dick in this because he's so smug with everything. It's like, yeah, this is how it works, buddy. So just fall in line. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
It's like, what are you going to do? Yeah.
You're not following line? All right, fine.
Yeah, you're not the first to try. You're not going to be the last to try.
Right.
Everyone there's a million of me out there. I just want to be the best producing, and I don't give a shit if I kill people to do it. And it's not like he's killing people. They're just giving them a drug to up productivity that eventually kills them. And it's just about the bottom line. He says it like twice in here where he's like, they work, they get bonuses, we get bonuses, the corporation's happy, I'm happy. Why mess with the system? And Sean Connery's like, because you're killing people. And that is ultimately what it is. You are killing people. Like, I almost kind of wish he'd have told his wife that when she was like, why are you doing this? Is it worth it? And it should have been something like, yeah, life is worth that. A life is worth it or something.
I thought he was going to say something like that too. I was surprised. I guess he has to keep it confidential or something like that. I don't know.
It's confidential, private, confidential, 101, and discreet.
Probably worried that maybe she would even like try to come back to the thing. But I was like, I think it takes a while because Lord knows the henchmen were on that shuttle for 73 hours, 76 hours, something
like that. Yeah.
And then it was early, like it was down to the hour, and it went. An alarm goes off, and it's early, and no one moves on that station. Like they all go to where they're supposed to go, and there's nothing happening. If I'm getting off the shuttle and that's going on, I'm gonna be like, what's going on? Yeah. No one is moving or responding at all. I'd be worried. That would just be me.
Yeah,
it became Die Hard in space.
Yeah.
Because
so J-Man, when that happened and we were watching the movie, I remember you said you turned to our mutual friend because so Sean Connery's like picking off guys one by one, and then the surprise marshal comes and he kills that guy, and that's the guy who had the line of like, we're all young, we have families, right? So so J-Man turns to our friend and says like, but they have families. Why is he killing them? And like, you're trying to piss him off, right? And
I'll troll my friends. I was like, Yeah, but that guy's got a family, man. Like,
yeah.
And then he tried, he's like, well, he doesn't have family. He's just saying other people have families. And he said, us, we. And he's like, yeah. And the other one too was just before the movie started, like the credits are rolling, and then J-Man's like, if this movie starts with statistics about the planet, this movie sucks, right? And then of course it happens, because like you've seen science fiction movies, like this.
You gotta get. It's not the.
Okay, I love stats.
Yeah.
Like whenever they tell me, like, whatever station crew member, I literally take screenshots. Like, well, I don't have a phone at that time, but like I'll write that down. I'm like, okay, wait, how many guys are on this thing?
Yeah,
that's information. That's storytelling without having to waste any time in the movie. I'm always there for it. I love whenever they do that stuff.
Oh, dude, like Andromeda Strain. When I've seen that movie, I only saw it recently because I read the book and I was like, well, I gotta watch this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I watched the movie. It was awesome, and it's one of my favorite movies. Like and I got the Criterion and whatever edition it was. It was one of these expensive ones.
Right.
And I was like, I bet you this is online. And that entire wildfire facility, I'm like, I know some nerd has blueprinted this out. And I found the blueprints to every level, the colors, and I found all the blueprints. I love this stuff. So I'm just trolling, right? So I just like, and my buddy gets like, he'll get all like nervous because he wants to please. He's like, oh, this is a good movie. I want to show you guys. So I'm kind of trolling a bit. I'm like, oh, if there's stats, that's it. This movie's trash. It's like I'm saying.
If it starts with people mining, it's gonna suck. Oh, damn it!
I bought the movie right after we watched.
Yeah.
I do like trolling, and he's fun to troll because he'll get like all upset. And
he gets too nervous about it. He's like, relax.
Yeah,
I bought this. I bought it on Amazon. It was $10. So I could have rented it for like $3 because I wanted HD on my TV and everything. And I was like, okay, $3 or wait, $9.99, and I can own it and pull it up anytime I want. I'm going to buy Outland, so I was glad I did.
Blu-ray? Oh, it is on Blu-ray.
Is it on Blu-ray?
It should be on Blu-ray. Yeah.
I didn't look.
Oh, but it's like $27.
What?
Nah, I'm not going to pay that.
That's what happens, man.
I'm not. I paid $9.99.
Man, I'm not going to share my screen, but you'll just believe me. I clicked on Outland, and it said add Saturn 3 for $50.
They know. Woo.
That is very weird.
Well, here's the weird thing. The director of Outland, which is Peter Heim, we just recorded our episode Thursday for our Halloween stuff. End of Days was directed by Peter Heim.
Oh my God.
And I'm like looking up stuff, and I'm like, no fucking way. Like literally, we are doing End of Days, and it's like, this guy also did Outland. It's like, son of a bitch.
Did he do? Let me look up some of his other movies. The Musketeer, I own that too. I own Time Cop, I own Sundeath. Yeah,
I can get the Blu-ray for $14.99.
Oh, Running Scared. Oh yeah. I remember that.
Wait, did he direct that?
Yeah,
with Jimmy Smits and
the 86 movie. Yeah.
You literally said you said on Andromeda Strain, and my phone heard you.
Oh my God! But that's the TV version, I think. There's a TV movie.
Oh yeah. They have a separate one for that? I saw it as a kid, and like every time, I swear to God, every time I looked at the clock after that, I always said 6:01. I remember that.
Yeah, that's the I forgot what
that's the alarm thing. Yeah.
That's the alarm thing. Yeah. I mean, the book is awesome. I've got the book. All of Michael Crichton books are good, but like the book for that is awesome. And the idea, and like if you read the book, they do it as though it was really happening. Like this really happened, right? So it's like, and they give you like all the maths, like they give you math, and it's like it looks like a science textbook. Andromeda Strain is awesome. Well, the movie is like, if you haven't seen the movie, have you seen the movie, Charlie, or no? Because
it's been a long time since I've seen it. This is actually the movie version. This is the Walter Hill.
Okay. So then there you go. Yeah. Okay, it looks like a different cover than the one I've got. The cover I have is the poster.
You probably have there's variant ones. This is I can get it for $13.56.
Yeah, well, and I can loan it to you the way I loan you movies if you want.
Yeah, I can do it that way if I'm not worried about buying it. Yeah.
But so Outland is obviously the winner here, which I thought it was kind of be. I thought Outland would probably win because I remember when I saw that the last time I'd seen it, I thought, wow, this is a legit cool movie. Like, it's really cool. Like, Saturn 3 is fun because I like schlocky movies.
I wasn't sure how the robot was going to sway everybody. And then, like, there's one cool, shocking moment in this, and it's not even when the hand gets cut off. It's when he's, like, wearing Harvey Keitel's head.
Yeah.
But there's a deleted scene that they took out because the director at the time thought it was too much, is the robot was dissecting Harvey Keitel's body on the table.
Oh my
like
God.
It's literally cutting him up. And that's why the head is up there to get, even the robot knew it needed a better head, you know? So it's like, I'm just going to stick Harvey Keitel up here.
I like that it's haphazardly put on. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's like
right.
sideways.
Like, a modern movie would just put the head on. It's like, look at this cool effect we did. It's like, well, okay, but this is a lot more effective. It's like just tragic and weird.
It's like the robot thinking, oh, if I looked like this guy, maybe she would appreciate me, even though it's his brain. And I don't know. That's the convoluted stuff I just didn't get enough out of. But there's a ton of good gore, I'd call it, in Outland, which really weighed a lot heavier on my selection. Like, I literally was just like, I want everyone's head to explode. Period. Everyone that dies, like the last guy at the end, he pulls his cord, you know, and it's air's going out. I was wanting his head to pop, but he falls down into the electric grid at the bottom. I was like, the guy that gets sucked out of the greenhouse, if you look in the corner, you watch his body explode. The glass and the vacuum, it's like a little red poof, and it's off screen. I barely caught it. I rewound it and went, was that the dude? It is. You can watch him go, and then all of a sudden it's just like this red poof, and he's gone. I was like, yes.
Well, okay, so here's where we're at right now. We need 2 more movies. So I'm gonna have to ask you guys something. We're gonna have to decide this, I think. I can't seem to. I own Galaxina. I've seen it, and none of you guys have seen it, and none of you guys can find it. So here's the options that we have. Option 1, I will just do a video. I won't do a live stream. I'll just do a 10-minute video where I do my space for both movies, and I pick the winner between that and Star Crash. Option number 2, Sean and Steve, if he's available, we can meet up maybe and watch Galaxina. Option number 3, we do Second Chance. So a movie that has been eliminated gets a second chance to go against Star Crash to see if it can beat Star Crash to come.
I was gonna say, like, substitute it, but if you want to do a second chance thing, like
well, you know, but I think I can get this on my Prime. Hold on.
All right, let's see if you can get it.
Because you guys, like you said, you guys could almost do like a watch party, and watch it. But
you can rent it on YouTube.
I pulled it up on my Amazon, and it says it's rentable through Prime. So I'm gonna pull up my Prime real quick, and if I can check mine. Yeah, because I don't care to rent it if it's, you know, a few bucks.
The rental here is, how much is it? It's $5.
That ain't bad.
What?
I've paid more.
I would pay it, but you know.
Well, if you can go watch it with somebody, that's it. Plus, that may even sway how you guys rank that thing. If everyone's all together, like enjoying it,
we shouldn't be together.
Yeah,
because when we watch movies together, I love everything we've ever.
The enjoyment level goes through the roof. It really does.
Yeah, no, we can't do that, especially if it's Sean and I. Like we'll just be laughing the whole, like, we're just like, oh, that's awesome. And the thing is, if you watch a movie with me, you will guaranteed like it, because I will do really fun commentary that'll make it good. So it's like I'm that's one of my expertise or whatever.
Wait a second.
Oh, you think you found it? So just to let you guys know, there's 9 votes, and Outland is winning by 56%. So Outland is the winner.
Let me put something in your chat.
Okay.
I can rent this for $4. I can do that. I have no problem with that.
Oh yeah, this looks like it's working.
It's the 1980. A sexy intergalactic robot helms a spaceship crew in search of a mystical gem known as the Blue Star.
I mean, I think that's it.
It's got a different cover than what you're showing, but we already know that they use different covers for everything.
Right. Look at
it's I don't know if it's in French though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. I don't have volume on. Hold on, Charlie. In the private chat, do you see where private chat is on StreamYard?
Yep, I'm gonna click on it.
And then Sean sent you a private link. So see, I'm trying to see if that's French or not.
It's in French language.
Mine says.
I knew there was a catch because I thought I found it one time and
it says video unavailable for me, so it's definitely not.
Well, yeah,
I can get it for $4. I don't care. I'll watch it if it keeps us on track. And you guys,
I can download it for $5. Like rent it.
Yeah, I can rent it.
Yeah, like okay, so we can keep Galaxina in.
Okay.
I mean, if you watch Good Bad Flicks. If you don't watch their thing on it until you see the movie, but if you watch their thing on it, you get more of appreciation for what they were trying to do in that movie.
Right.
But like, yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, I like all these kinds of like schlocky movies, so it's fine for me.
I have no problem with them. I mean, we're just ranking them against other ones. That's the only difference, you know. It's like right. Saturn 3 is a good movie. It's fun. I had no problem with it. Outland just happened to be better. It was more in my wheelhouse of what I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
That Blue Star, the heart of the ocean.
I'm more nervous about Enemy Mine versus Arena because I love those two movies, but like to me they're kind of different kinds of movies. But we'll see. I haven't seen Enemy Mine in a long time, but I watched it to hell as a kid, so I saw it in the theater, and you know,
the people that did these like documentary movies, In Search of Darkness, and all these things. They did the In Search of Tomorrow. Yeah. Today, they just shared a thing about Enemy Mine and showing a bunch of screen clips. And I was just sitting there going, yeah, I can't wait to watch it again. It's been forever.
Yeah.
And B, I'm like, oh, God, I got to put this up against Arena, which is another favorite of mine. It's just one of those, you know, Stuart Gordon kind of films that you're just like, I love everything about it, and I shouldn't, but I do.
Man, I've never seen Enemy Mine. This is one that I've never seen. So
you've never seen it. Yeah. That's we have to do that because I honestly think you're gonna watch it and go, wow, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have put it in this. Like,
yeah. I was the one that put it in here, and then after that, I was like, you know what? I don't know, man. You know, the thing is, it's a studio picture, but it's fairly forgotten nowadays.
It is forgotten, but it is one of those that had a larger release, a larger budget, and they were hopping on that whole thing of like the last Starfighter was popular, Star Wars was popular. Let's put out alien movies, but bigger budgets. And this was also semi-family friendly too. It wasn't like it was rated R.
Well, it's not super action. That. It's like it's
no, it's not.
Make, right? Yeah.
There's a lot to. I'm looking forward to it just because J-Man's never seen Enemy Mine.
I would
never ever bet. Like if someone went, name a movie J-Man's never seen. I bet you can't name one. I would have never went Enemy Mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've talked about it before, and you've always said like, "Oh, I've never seen that." You should watch it, man. Yeah.
Maybe I did see it. Like that was my Metal Storm problem, where I bought a second copy. I'm watching. I'm like, I've seen this already. I'm like, oh crap, I own this already, and I've seen it already. So Sean got a free copy last night.
What you're gonna do though is you're gonna watch it going, why does Louis Gossett Jr. look so much like the alien in Last Starfighter?
I thought he was the alien in Last Starfighter.
Yeah, they're like if you look at him, you're like, damn, that was close. That's really close.
I love Last Starfighter. Yeah, that we didn't put out. Mm-hmm. But we're getting close to the final tournament, man.
That's it. So when we get into the tournament. I've not asked this yet, but because we've already watched these all.
Right.
How are we doing that? What happens next?
I think we're going to still do the space. We're still going to do space.
And so what space, each one against each other again?
Yeah. So and it'll be a bit faster.
Well, it's different scoring.
We don't have to like go through like what did you like about the it'll just be why is this one better? Okay.
Yeah, and We'll still do a little bit of an intro because there might be new people. Like today, we've actually had a lot of people watching.
Oh yeah, I have no problem with that. I was just curious. I hadn't asked,
So I've been so what I've been doing was I have been doing my space numbers.
Right.
So that when it's done, I can just refer to my numbers. Like, see, like, so these are my notes. Oh no, that's not that. But where's something? Okay, so like here was Outland versus Saturn 3, right?
Right.
So against each other, but I didn't just say which one was better. I did give space scores.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave Outland 7 out of 10.
Right.
And I gave Saturn 3 6 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah, you did tell us that there was like a 1 point difference when we started. Right. Yeah.
So I wrote all my scores for the winning ones down here. So no matter what we pick, so if you say what's your versus mutant, I've got my scores for each category. I left all my on one page, right. So I can versus any one of them, and we will pick who versus who.
And I think the wild card in that is going to be more your enjoyment. It's like because if you enjoy both, you gotta have to enjoy one more than a little bit than the other, and it could change when you like compare it to another. That
right now, they're all between 7 and 8 out of 10.
I was gonna say they have to be. They have to be. Yeah.
7.5, 8. There's only one in there. I'm not telling you which one, but you'll know when you see the rank. There's only one in there that's below a 7. That one's gonna get kicked out for sure. We know which one it is. That's gonna.
We all know what it is. We already know which one's getting kicked out first.
Right. So we know that, but
it's the journey, guys. It's not the outcome. It's the journey.
Right. And people, like a lot of people, because I've had a lot of people not see some segments, so we will go through this whole spiel again.
Yeah.
But since we had already watched them, we won't have to watch them, and we can even do we'll still keep it to every Friday, but we'll just do space again. Screw it, we'll just do space again. That's it.
Whatever works. Yeah. Whatever works.
Okay, so we are so next week. Then let's take a look at where we're at here. Let's wait on Galaxina since everyone's still figuring it out, right?
All right, so that means we do Enemy Mine Arena.
I haven't seen Arena since childhood.
Oh really? So, I watched it this year. It's on Tubi. It was another one of those, like when I would start watching something, another movie would pop up, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm watching Arena. And I sat down and I watched Arena. I didn't even pick it. It was just like Tubi's like a gift. And I was like, I'm watching Arena. I love this movie.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. Let's any other sort of Phantom was saying a couple of things. I don't know who. Do we know who?
I don't know if there's something before that.
The James Cameron ripoff Galaxina. I don't know. I have to rewatch Galaxina. I haven't seen that in 100. I saw that when it came out. I literally bought anything that's remotely related to this. Oh, Marcus, how's it going, brother? Yeah, thanks. We know. I'm Canadian. It means nothing. And wrong stream, buddy. Yeah, he's just one of my trolls.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know what else we were talking about. Tubi Arena, yes. TUBI is the Tubby.
Yeah, up Tubi, man. The AI went, I got you, fam, and it played. It's every time, man. I was watching. I don't even remember what I started with, but I ended up watching Body Melt, and I was just like, cool, I'm here for it, man. That's a weird fucking movie. If you've never seen Body Melt, it's an Ozploitation horror film. And it's just nothing just to gross you out as it goes, and it works.
Let me see
Tubi's the best for all this stuff, man.
I love almost every movie we've covered has been on Tubi except for like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
If I didn't already own it, and sometimes if it's already on Tubi, I'm not going to dig it out of my collection. I'll just And they don't kill you with commercials like some of the other ones do. Like they have less commercials than Hulu does. Like Hulu commercials the hell out of us now. And I was like, Tubi, I might get 3, maybe depending on how long the movie is, maybe 4 ad breaks. It's literally like watching TV, but it's uncut.
Right.
I'm fine for it, man.
Cool. Okay, guys. Well, I think we'll end it off there.
I think they're good.
The links to Charlie's Facebook groups are in the description. We will get other links in there as well. Sean's channel's in there as well. it's in this video and all my videos. I put you guys links in all my videos. There's only one video where I didn't put it in because I was saying something like, just in case the people don't agree with me, I won't put other people's names on this. But I can't remember what the hell video that was where I was like, it wasn't controversial. I was just like, I think I have like a minority opinion, so I thought I won't burden everyone else's thing with this. But so next Friday is going to be Enemy Mine. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Chucky. The first 2 episodes, I've seen the first 2. We're going to talk about Hellraiser, the new movie. We're going to talk about Halloween Ends, and we're going to talk about what was the other one? Werewolf by Night, which was a good Marvel TV thing. Which
still need to sit down and watch it. Maybe I'll do that one tonight. I might watch Werewolf by Night.
It's 50 minutes or something.
Everyone I talked to have said it's a great one shot, and it's
not super amazing, but it's good. You know, and Man-Thing's in it, and you get to see
I saw the picture where that's an actual physical Man-Thing. It's not CG. I love it. I like Man-Thing. You know, it's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna try to watch the Munsters, Rob Zombies, because I know Sean, you watched it, right? So.
I liked it. It's bad. So don't shoot the messenger, but I like it because it's colorful and fun, man. I don't know.
Listen, I already know I'm gonna like it because I told you I'm a Rob Zombie apologist.
It's got the most obscure pulls from that show that I think a lot of people wouldn't understand. I mean, Tin Can Man is in it, and he's like a robot. He's a robot from Adventures of Superman that they used in an episode of Munsters. And they got Eddie Munster, the guy who played Eddie Munster, to play him.
Right, to be the Tin, which is because he's not in, but he's not. You don't see his face, so like.
That's what we were talking about last time we were doing this, because you did this, Sean. You watched the original series
last year,
Yeah. If people had done that, I guarantee more people would have probably understood what he did, and probably got more enjoyment. Again, like you said, it's not good, but they would have understood it instead of going, what's this? This is garbage. You know, it's just silly.
No, I respect it, but it's got flaws. I mean, the man still can't tell a story. But
Ted, did you look good?
But
it was the better side of Ted that looked good, man. The man thing.
All right, so that'll all be tomorrow. I don't know if Steve's coming on. There was a lot of messages that he was saying he's doing some home renovations, so he's been like moving stuff around. So I don't think he had time to watch the movies. That's all.
It happens.
He just didn't have time to watch them. And then Sean and I are going to a comic show, so I'll try to get video there. I'm on a Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes hype that you can't believe. I cannot be stopped. I cannot be bargained with. And if Sean holds up any Superboy Legion comics, I'm gonna rip him out of his.
He's gonna rip him out.
Just snatch it right. Hey, J-Man, check out. Where'd he go?
Don't usually set parameters before you walk in. Okay, what are you looking for? Say it now.
Oh no, we help each other out on those things. Anyway.
Yeah, we help each other out. Yeah.
Sean's just gonna like go through the boxes and go here, and then just here, and just throw it.
Yeah. Do you like Charlie? Do you like Remo Williams? You like that, right?
Yeah, I like Remo Williams.
Did you read any of the Destroyer books or no?
No, I didn't. Okay, I didn't know there's books.
Awesome.
Are there?
It's based on like 100 books. Yeah,
there's 100 books. I read the first 3. But
I know I'm American, and the whole thing is we're not educated. I do read books, just not a lot.
But what I was leading into was that they made comic books, but like Savage Sword of Conan. Like,
they're magazines,
like black and white magazine style.
It's Marvel.
For Remo Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea they did
magazine,
that.
Yeah.
There's only 9. Sean found a couple, and I'm like, he's like, oh, have you seen these? I was like, no, I just bought them. They're awesome. Like there's only 9, so I need to complete that. I need number 2, 4, and 7. Then I've got them all.
I wonder if I can get it in an omnibus. I'd do it in an omnibus and read it. No, there's no collection.
They can't do it. Who is it?
The
Marvel?
rights.
Or who would get that?
It was Marvel, but I don't know who owns it now. Because the thing is with those rights, if someone else has the rights to that character, they can reprint the other company's stuff. Like I have a DC reprint of all of the Marvel Doc Savage stuff. So
it's whoever owns the character, because you would be making money off the character if you did an omnibus.
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense. Corporate,
but if they crossed over with a character from that company, then you can't reprint that, right? Like
Dark
Transformers
Horse
did a Spider-Man crossover, and so IDW couldn't reprint that issue. So yeah,
right. But Dark Horse reprinted all of the Savage Swords in those phone book editions.
Yes, yeah.
And I got so, but I also have a lot of original Savage Sword issues. But I was buying those omnibuses because it was just easy. But they're in weird order, and I don't know if they have them all. It's a bit weird, and some of the Red Sonja stuff was problematic as well because of her team ups and stuff too. So it's a bit weird. But Destroyer, like Remo Williams, the Destroyer or whatever, it's called Destroyer. That's what it's called. It's like that came out of nowhere. The covers are awesome. It's just an awesome.
I have to look into that.
Phantom, we were talking about Destroyer, which is Remo Williams.
Yeah, Remo Williams. Yeah, Phantom knows for sure. He knows for sure. But anyways, okay, so that's it. So that'll all be tomorrow. And then Charlie, if you want to come on, you can come on. We're going to talk. And if you haven't seen a movie, you can bow out.
I haven't seen it, but I may at least jump into the chat and throw some stuff out there.
Yeah.
I got to see what we got. Yeah, because we may, if I don't do Halloween tonight, I might do it tomorrow. I know it's going to suck, but I got to watch it. Just like J-Man, I'm a completionist. I got to see it through. And I gotta do it before it spoils, man. Some dumbass is gonna spoil it for me online. Yeah. And I'd rather just watch it now, even if I gotta pay to rent it. I'm not getting Peacock. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing it. I don't care if it's cheaper for 1 month of Peacock than to rent the damn movie. I'll do that instead.
I don't even know if we have Peacock here. No. We definitely don't have Hulu here. We never have. So.
It's what our NBC is here,
it's NBC,
one of our broadcasts.
Yeah.
So it's Peacock, and it's just another fucking streaming service. I'm not doing it. I don't want it.
They could call it something else, man. God, I understand that Peacock is their their mascot, but did no one protest this in the boardroom?
It's terrible.
God,
it is.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.